and let's go for one. Hello, St. Gabriel's family. I am here with Mrs. Wood, who is so critical to the school. She is in charge of learning support for the lower juniors, J1 and J2, and doing an outstanding job, even through COVID times. So I just want to jump right into it, Mrs. Wood. Tell me a bit about who you are outside of St. Gabriel's, by the way. Just tell me a bit about who you are.
Well, good afternoon. Originally from Montreal, Canada. I relocated to Barbados in 2001 and started immediately with the St. Gabriel's family. That first academic year of 2001 was my first teaching year. I'm a mother of two. I have been married. They keep me busy. And I don't know, I love to travel. The beach, I think that's one of my happy places, my go-to. And I love to dance as well. So you would find me on a dance floor somewhere dancing to soca.
There you go. Support soca. I love that. Yes. All the way from Montreal. I actually knew it, because when Mrs. Chandler first sent me the names for the St. Gabriel's email list to contact you all, I saw a J packet and I'm like, but that don't sound Bayesian to me. Right? I should know
yes,
that.
My father is French Canadian and my mom is Barbadian. So I developed my love for Barbados from very young. And then when I finished my university degree, I decided that there was no reason to stay in the cold of Canada and that I could come and enjoy the beaches and give back a little bit to the Barbadian community.
Well, you just answered my question, because I was about to say, because I knew the name packet sounded French, and I figured it was probably Montreal, so I actually guessed it correctly, right?
Yeah, French is my first language. I did all of my schooling in French, but my mom being Barbadian, we learned English in the home, and then... Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. Very few people have, that double language skill. I certainly don't. Well, I speak Bajan and English, so I guess that counts, kind of.
That still qualifies?
Qualifies, yes. So, but tell me about... did you teach at all in Canada before coming to Barbados, or you just started when you came to Barbados?
Well, my university degree was a 4-year program within which we did have internships. So we had the opportunity to be located into different schools within the Quebec school system. And because ours was remedial teaching, the different opportunities were schools that had special needs, but also hospitals. So I had done an internship in a hospital as well, in a psychiatric hospital for children. So there were different opportunities, but my first kind of, starting the career was in Barbados.
That's very cool. Well, welcome to Barbados. We're so happy to have you for the last 20 years.
Yes, and I mean, St. Gabriel's is a very supportive family to be, kind of accepted and to start, living in a new country, but also starting a career. And I was very fortunate to have some very supportive colleagues and families from the school that were all very excited for what I could bring and share with them. So it was nice and welcoming.
Certainly. I mean, that diversity kind of is what St. Gabriel's has been built on over the years. I went to school there many a moon ago, and when I went, a lot of kids in my class, I have friends from Belgium, the UK, all the United States, as well as Barbados and the Caribbean. So it really is that international footprint that St. Gabriel's has created. And I think that may have helped it. Just the fact that we are, a multinational school traditionally may have made it a lot easier for you to sink in, as someone coming from overseas. But did you find it difficult coming from the Canadian system into the Barbadian system of teaching?
Well, the academics are definitely more advanced, I find, in the Caribbean, whereas the concepts that were being taught in the top infancy year, which is the year that I had started in, were definitely more advanced than the Canadian system at the time.
Wow.
But no, I feel that, our school is a very inclusive school, as you said. And I think the children were eager to learn about me, and it was new staff, but it was also, the eagerness to learn a little bit of the French and what I could bring. And from time to time, I would introduce them to, the French alphabet and words and even food, because as an extracurricular activity, I had promoted the French. So we did a little French conversation and we brought in French food, and it was just sharing of that kind of culture, and for them to educate me too, because often when we did projects on Barbados, it was a lot of them teaching me some of the things that they knew, and starting from what they already had as a background knowledge. So it was a give and take, a little bit of sharing and learning from them, really.
That's outstanding. That's outstanding. I mean, the next time, please, that you have a French food day at school, please let me know. Don't forget me, right? I want to taste some of that food, please. Yes.
Excellent.
So tell me, I mean, you've been there for a while now, but tell me some of your favorite memories about being a St. Gabriel's teacher. I know you have a lot, so tell me, just a handful or one or two of your favorite memories.
Yeah, well, I guess I could break it down as to a favorite memory as being a teacher. First of all, I remember the first activity that I ever did with my class. It was September, first day of school, top infants, and I wanted to get to know them. So I asked them a few questions: your favorite color, how many siblings you have. And my last question to them was, what do you want to learn this year? And I remember one student had written, rub a duck. And I was like, why does this kid want to be friends with an animal? And I was like, well, maybe he wants us to go to the zoo. Maybe he has a thing for birds. So I went to the child and I said, can you tell me what you wrote here? And he says, read a book. And I was like, oh, okay. But then obviously, with a little bit of phonics and encouragement, that child became an avid reader. And it always reminds me that, the children come with their own interests, and where we can start is really with where they want to be. And when you ask them questions like, what do you want to learn to do? And his was to read a book, but obviously he didn't know how to spell read nor book. So he had, kind of inverted the B and the D, so that became duck. And it was rub instead of read, and it was rub a duck. And I was like, rub a duck? Like, what does he want to learn? But if, I hadn't really investigated, I would have been left with, I have no clue why this child likes birds. But at the same time, you can kind of really start with where these children are and what their interests, lay, or where they lay. So I think that was a great memory for me to just keep that in mind, that we can all learn to rub a duck, and we're there to like really teach them, how to read a book, but to start with their own interests. As for a memory as staff, I think I'm always pinned as being the drama teacher. So any new member of staff that we have, they always think, oh, you must be the drama teacher, because I can be a little bit animated at times, and I love to, kind of crack a joke in the staff room and try to keep people, kind of engaged and, lighthearted kind of conversation within the staff room. And I think during COVID, that has been difficult for the staff not to have that camaraderie and, that companionship, and just be able to vent and laugh and, enjoy each other's company. So I think now that we're all working remotely, that has been difficult. But I think I'm always pinned as being the drama teacher. And I still remember it was a new member of staff that came to me and she says, oh, how long have you been doing the drama? And I was like, drama? She's like, well, you must be the drama teacher, because you're always cracking a joke and you're so expressive. But I think I miss my colleagues in the staff room, so that would be a memory for the staff. And memory as the students, I think there have been many. I mean, over 21 years of teaching, I think some students kind of stand out as being, maybe more challenging than others in terms of behavior, or, you have some that are extremely loving and want to share everything with you and are very caring. But I think to me, St. Gabriel students stand out in terms of being very accepting and very resilient. And I think these times have shown us that these children are accepting of new circumstances. It being, a separated family, it being, relocation, because we've had, obviously children coming from away and being new to Barbados, but all the other children are always very welcoming and accepting of new students. And I think even new staff, I think our students are very respectful of, this is a new teacher, and everybody is always very welcoming. So I think our students are extremely accepting, but also resilient, and can work through these different challenges, including COVID and remote learning.
Well, it's true. And I mean, you look at St. Gabriel's, we had some wonderful achievements over the last couple of months, but we've had the first, second, and third in the spelling bee national spelling bee competition. We had 6 or so, award-winning, exhibition award-winning students who went on to other schools and did exceptionally well in the A-levels and so on. And you continue to hear all of these success stories, whether it's sports, whether it's academics, whether it's the creative sector. I'm just so proud to be a St. Gabriel's person. But I think having someone like yourself being at St. Gabriel's, who are there to kind of lend a helping hand to those who learn support for the kids that may be falling a little bit behind, is so critically important, because we're one family. And as you've said, your story with the kid who wrote something a little different at another school that may have been missed, and now you have a kid who has it's been corrected, and dealt with and he's excelled. So I know that's certainly, that almost leads on to my next question as what's your favorite part about being a teacher? But I know that probably that experience of having kids evolve and change for the better and excel after they come through you is probably one of them. But you can tell me in your own words, what's your favorite part about being a teacher?
I think to me, it's the relationship that you can have with so many different families and children and those bonds that are created. I think as teachers, we are privileged and we are shared in so many people's lives. I think, we share their joys, their challenges. Parents sometimes can be in a situation where they're seeking help and support, but when they have great accomplishments, they feel that we are part of them as well. So I think to me, it's that connection that you make with so many different families. And over the years, I am soon approaching the time where my younger students would have now become parents. And, it's that cycle of, constantly just being in their lives in terms of being their teacher, but then of being their daughter or son's teacher as well, So to me, it's that experience, that connection that you make with people and their willingness to share with us, and the children are one big part of it, but it's also the extended family and the grandparent that collects on the afternoon and just, the social life of it too, being in the supermarket and the kids running up to you and it's Mrs. Wood. And, you almost feel like a superstar wherever you go. It's like, ooh, yes, that's me. The kids are so excited to see us in other, circumstances and in other environments. And when they see you, they're just so happy. And then, you share with the parents what's going on in their lives and past students and, the accomplishments of the children. So I feel like I am part of so many people's lives. And to me, that is the special aspect of being a teacher that can touch so many,
Absolutely.
All by doing what it is that you love to do. So it's fairly simple, it's that cycle of give and take, but it just kind of comes around full circle.
That is so cool, and that's been the consistent theme with almost every teacher. The ones who've been there for 3 years, the ones who've been there for 20 plus years, they don't plan on leaving. And then even, like Miss Collymore, who's been there for 40 years.
I come back.
And she has just returned. So, it's just an amazing place to be, and we're so happy that you chose St. Gabriel's to be your family in Barbados. Over the last 20 years, you told me? Yeah, right?
Yes. I like to claim that I started teaching at the tender age of 12 so that we can not do the math, but yes, 21 years of teaching.
Well, you certainly...
And all at St. Gabriel's.
certainly look wonderful. There's a recipe at St. Gabriel's because when I took my sons back there, I have two older boys who are now 22 and 23 years old. And when they first went back, I met all of my teachers there. Miss Evelyn was there, Mrs. Collymore was there, Mrs. Johnson, Mrs. Date, Mrs. Manning, and I'm like, what is going on? And I was
flashbacks from the past.
I was so happy to have them all there, and I'm sure that kids, as you say, a lot of the kids you taught are now becoming young parents, and when they come back and they see you there, that really means a lot to us as the St. Gabriel's people. So thank you for being there. Thank you for staying there. I must commend you on your accent. I can't hear no French in there at all. And most French I know that learn English
will have a little bit of an accent.
Oh, a lot of an accent.
We might have to bring my dad on the call.
There you go. I've been to Montreal. My brother Cash, who's also the St. Gabriel student, he went to school at McGill University. So I spent some time hanging out and partying up there at the University of Florida.
I think it's one of the nicest cities in Canada. It still has that European flair, and I think the cobblestone streets, and it still has that European vibe.
It's lovely, really lovely. I always enjoyed it when I went there, and thank you for bringing that piece of Montreal to Barbados and for staying here with us. We are so appreciative. So the last part of my interview is very simple. I just wanted you to tell me who you are and that you love St. Gabriel's School, and then that's a wrap.
All right, well, I am Justine Wood, and I love St. Gabriel's.
This is the St. Gabriel song, and we sing it proud and strong. We are one family. Every culture, every race, we all have an equal space, and we live in unity. It's unity every day, that is the St. Gabriel's way. You and me in unity is strength. In the class and when we play, it's unity every day. You and me in unity is strength. In unity